Hey guys, in this video I want to answer one of the questions which I recently received on Instagram by Mark, and that is, Pierre, what do you think about the future of UI UX? And this is a loaded question. To be honest, I don't have all of the answers, but I can give you some of my insights. And basically, when it comes to the future of UI UX, it really depends on how far in the future you're looking. I think that in the next years there won't be like major changes. However, I'm looking at new technologies, especially things like VR and also wearable, such as the iWatch and accessories like that. These things are going to take more and more place. They're going to be more and more relevant in UI UX, especially in the future. I've also been looking that Apple is creating some glasses, which I think they're going to be released in 2022. But as you can see, there is this trend, and also if you look at the video gaming industry, there is like this PlayStation VR, and Sony actually announced that with the next generation of consoles, they're going to focus a lot on VR. So I think that VR is going to definitely be a big part of our lives in the future, but it's not going to be anything that relevant for us, especially in the next upcoming years. It's going to take a while, and I'm saying this also based on a lot of like big company owners, what they're saying about VR. It's going to be a slow and incremental, progress towards that direction, but it's going to take a while. There's a lot of variables involved, but there's also a lot of opportunities, and I think that specifically for UI UX designers, there's going to be a lot of opportunities, especially to branch out in things like 3D UI UX design, and just making our user experiences more engaging, more real life like. And there's also a distinction which we have to make when we're talking about VR, because there's augmented reality, which is AR, and the virtual reality, which is VR. And basically the difference from my understanding is that augmented reality, you can still see real life if you wish, but there's elements which are virtual. So for example, if you're in a AR app, you can actually see what you're normally seeing, but there's like digital things that are created digitally. So this could be the first example that comes to my mind is like Minecraft AR. So basically there is this app where you can literally see the blocks in real life with your camera, but the camera is still catching the real world, so it's not completely made up digitally. While VR, it's a completely digital world. So I think there's going to be a lot of interesting talks and explorations when it comes to those areas, and I'm personally really excited about going into VR. I want to go and explore those directions and work on VR projects as soon as I can, but I guess it's going to take a while. So still we need to kind of keep an eye on those for the future. I think that websites are still going to be like a very relevant, like the classical format as we know it, as well as apps and things of that nature. And the reason why I feel that even in the future they're going to be very used, and it's not going to be everything in VR and AR, or at least for the most part, is that the simplicity of use it's there. So it's much easier to create something 2D rather than a complete 3D experience. It's the reason why a lot of websites don't always use videos, but they use mostly photos instead of videos, even though nowadays cameras are cheap. You can literally shoot a video with an iPhone. It looks really good. And also editing the video, you can do it with mobile apps and free video software. So the question is, why isn't everyone using video? And the answer is it's easier to take a photo. It's easier to kind of communicate some things even faster with a photo. So not necessarily the most complex technology which allows for more depth is going to be the most widely used one. So yeah, that's my thoughts regarding that. I'm also really curious about how wearables are going to become more and more important in our daily life. But again, guys, these are just some ideas that I have off the cuff. I have no idea how things are going to plan out in reality, and I'm really curious to see this video maybe like 10 or 20 years from now and see how much was accurate. But again, we cannot plan for too far ahead. Technology is moving so fast. There's so many variables involved that it's really difficult to plan things out for the future. We can only make our best guess. But when it comes to the present UI, UX design state and conditions, I think that the basics are pretty much evergreen when it comes to the fundamentals. And so yeah, I wouldn't worry too much about AR and VR at the moment, especially if you're a student. Just disregard the topic altogether. Just focus on the basics and learning how to make a functional and functional website, mobile apps, and things of that nature, and you're going to be totally fine in the industry. So that's it for this video. If you liked it, to all the stuff, the like, subscribe, whatnot, and I'll see you in the next video.